All right, I'm going to try to send this to you, but it may not send. I may have to upload it somewhere else. But here is, oh, we're going to come from the other side because the sun is very much blindingly in my eyes. Okay, so we're going to come from this side. Now, this is the leek patch. Okay, so this is weedy. This is grass, but these flat-leafed things are leeks. So this needs to get weeded. That section really needs to get weeded. That's all weeds. These are some volunteer tomatoes that are deciding to come up in my leeks. And this is more like what it's supposed to look like. These are my leeks, if you can see. Nice, pretty leeks. So that needs weeded. These are my death spiral peppers. See, they've grown nice. They have not put on fruit yet, but we get a nice patch of death peppers and some more volunteer tomatoes because that's apparently what's going on this season. The extra tomatoes that I went ahead and planted because why the hell not? They're looking a little rough and ragged, but they should bounce back. So there's that. And then over here, we've got the lettuce, which is starting to go to seed. Some tomatoes. That's in amongst the weeds. This bed got wild and crazy. It'll be wild and crazy. That's fine. This is a weed. That's a weed. So those are tomatoes. And these are potatoes going to flower, which is good. It means they're reaching maturity. These are the volunteer potatoes from last year. That's a weed. And in amongst that, you can see the carrot tops of the carrots I've got. This bed just went wild. This is my thyme that needs to get degrassified. These are my brassicas. They're doing fantastic. We've got cabbages here. They're starting to form heads. Yeah, you can see they're starting to form heads, curl over and form nice heads. You can really see it on that one. So hopefully those will be ready to harvest here in the next few weeks. These are Brussels sprouts, and you can see they are, I don't know if you can see in there, you see they're starting to form buds. Yeah, here you can see they're starting to form sprouts. That's nice. And of course the kale is doing fantastic. And that in the corner there, right there, is a sunflower. What else we got? This is all weeds. I planted beets here. They never came up, so this just went to weed. And then we've got my onion patch here that has gotten weedy. And then the part I weeded a few weeks ago of onions. This little bastard is actually a cucamelon trying to grow into my onion plant. It needs to come over here onto the sunflower is what it needs to do. So we're gonna move it up here. This is that volunteer cucamelon from a few years ago. But my other cucamelons are doing really great. Look at that. Look at them grow up this trellis. And up the sunflower. So, and this sunflower is starting to put on flowers. That's nice. This is my line of cherry tomato plants. And we're starting to get some tomatoes on here. This, I believe, is my teaspoon tomato plant. And you can tell because it's got smaller leaves and tiny little flowers. So I think that's my teaspoon tomato. Those are the really tiny ones. So this is going to be a little wild bramble patch. I kind of have more tomatoes there. I kind of meant it to be, so I'm okay with it being a little wild. Lawn guy came through and cut my tomatoes or cut my grass, and he hit some of the branches along here. But that's okay. These are cherry tomatoes. They're very prolific. They will do just fine. What do we have here? Oh, here we go. This is an atomic grape tomato. It's looking ragged too, but it never got staked up. But you can see there's quite a few tomatoes on there. I'll get in here and do something with it, or maybe I'll just let it go crazy. This is my parsley patch. It's all over here. Parsley, 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 more parsley. It's loving this semi-shade from this black walnut. So, yeah. Haven't planted anything here yet, but I do have him cut it down so it doesn't get crazy. These are my pepper plants. They're looking nice. More sunflowers along the back there. More pepper plants. So this is what that looks like. I need to get in here and weed this, but so this is more cucamelon growing up in here. And that is akin to a cucamelon. That's my Mexican sour gherkin. And yes, I planted them on the same trellis. They'll probably cross-pollinate. That's fine. That's another Mexican sour gherkin. I'm glad I can recognize the difference between the leaves, though. So, sunflowers, peppers, more sour gherkins over here. Dill that's going to seed. My oregano patch that needs harvested. I need to cut it down so it'll keep growing. This is just a weedy patch of crazy. This is where those seed fronds right there, my brown stuff, is where my Chinese winter cabbage went to seed. I just pulled a lot of those and took them up on the porch to get the seeds off of them. So from 6 plants, I probably have like 3,000 seeds. Purple ball basil, Genovese basil. These basils are doing amazing. They're just going crazy. Lots of basil. Lettuce that's going to seed. I'm going to harvest the seed off of this stuff because this is 2-year-old lettuce plants. They thrived in my garden. So I want these genes. I'm going to harvest these seeds. And look at my cucumbers. Look at these cucumbers. Lots of flowers. And we even have a few cucumbers on there. Little ones. There's a bigger one down here if it didn't get... Oh, there it is. Oh. Bigger cucumber. Lots of cucumbers. Lots of female flowers, which is good. A few males, which is normal. It's normal for cucumbers to put off mostly female flowers early in the season. So, but we're getting some... This is just a weedy mess. More cucumbers. So look at that. They're almost halfway up the trellis now. Look at that. That's shoulder height. Oh, a little under shoulder height to me. So they are, with all this rain we got this last week or so, they are just doing amazing. So, You little guy need to get on the trellis. This little guy wants to go flying off into the wild unknown, but he needs to go on the trellis. So we're just gonna wrap him around here and get him going in the right direction. There we go. So yeah, oh, surprise! Over here next to my compost pile, we have, wait for it, more wild tomato plants. Sam, it is the year of the volunteer tomato. So that's my garden right now. Mostly tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, but there's that. Also, you may notice my grass got cut. Coming up here, this is my chamomile patch. It's gone slightly and crazy. The chamomile, I didn't harvest the flowers, so it died and went to seed. Well, it didn't die. It went to seed and it's going dormant. I'm going to cut this down and shake the seeds back into this bed to let it come back next year. This chamomile is looking ragged, but it's also going to seed and it'll come back next year. I'm not worried about it. This looks like weeds, but actually most of that is wildflowers. I'm just waiting for them to get big enough to know what's a wildflower and what's a weed. So, yeah, my garden staging area. That's my mint plant. It's starting to go flower or go to seed, which is fine. It'll come back next year. Well, it won't die back, actually. It'll just go to seed. And then these are from 6 plants of Chinese winter cabbage. I have harvested probably 2,000 or 3,000 seeds so far. So, you know, for $1.50, I like the winter cabbage, and this is quite a bit of seed to harvest. So, yeah, got plenty of seed for that. I need to get this in a bowl, in a container. And some baby peppers from my pepper plants. I got a bunch in there, but there we go. And I harvested like probably 20 little ones this size, about this size yesterday. So peppers are doing great. There seems to be an emergency. I'm harvesting peppers pretty regularly, little ones, but that's all I need. I don't want to risk letting them get too mature or the peppers will stop fruiting or won't fruit as much. So by harvesting them young at this stage, I'm getting more. The plant is